Yep.
So all of your New Year's resolutions you had in December that you wanted to get done in 2023, your time is half up.
Yep.
Now we have the back half, and we all know how unproductive we are when football starts. So you really have about 2 months to get this stuff done.
Yeah.
Right?
So right now, this is the game plan for all the guys out there. Start buying your flowers and your chocolates now. Start padding the stats early, and then you can get some little bit of a breather.
Nicole always said that Valentine's Day was the day that all the guys needed to really spoil their wives because they basically ignored them for 5 months.
Yeah, but that was like backwards. Like it was because it was the end of football.
Yeah, it was the end of football season.
Somehow that didn't translate into you spoiling me on Valentine's Day, but it was a good thought at the time. It just didn't stick.
That's because now, like, football season is when all of our families together.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? We're all in the same room watching football on Saturdays and Sundays, which we are now 60 days away from the Huskers and the Gophers. 60 days. Yep.
Oh, that's
60
the
days.
countdown.
That's the countdown.
Week 0.
60 days until the Huskers kick off their 2023 season. 67 days until the NFL kicks off. So yeah, if you have any vacation plans, anything you, like I said, you wanted to get done this year, you got 2 months to get it done. And then after that, I mean, this is just all we look forward to.
Calm down. Football's 2 days a week. I mean, I know it's more than that, but it's like Saturday, Sunday.
Okay, it's actually Monday.
I know that's
right,
one game.
Thursday,
one game.
Saturday,
Sunday,
and
yes.
Sunday. So it's actually 4 days.
No, it's 2 days and 2 games. But Saturday, Sunday, I get it's a whole day.
I think you guys need to be more mad at the leagues, not the guys, because they're doing this.
I'm not mad at the guys. I don't care. I get to get more stuff done.
Well, and for me, it's more like
myself.
When football season's here, it's always I have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Like so, Tuesday, I'm like, okay, we're 5 days away. Then we're 4. Now it's like, oh, the weekend's here. Well, great. What are we going to do? We just sit at home and do nothing, or we just look at each other, or the kids are bored.
Other people go do stuff on the weekends. We just don't. That's
I know.
The thing.
And we just like to be home, I guess.
Well, you guys are scheduled too.
Yeah.
It's probably nice not to have to do anything. You guys are getting up at like 3 a.m. every day.
Yeah.
It is nice, but it's
it's
a little boring.
I love being bored. Only boring people get bored.
Are you the type of people that like you have to always be doing something to have fun, or can you just hang out at home and watch TV and smile?
Fun.
We just home and watch TV.
Yeah, being home is fun. We're how many hours? Well, like 3 hours deep into a FDR documentary that we've been watching every weekend.
When you get to be old like we are in our I'll be in my mid 40s, 45 in 2 weeks from yesterday. We like to watch a little History Channel.
Yeah.
Like they always have these, maybe 4 or 5 times a year, they have these 3-part documentaries. So, they've done one on George Washington, on, trying to think. There's just been other ones.
I've got a ton of them.
Yeah.
I feel like they've helped rebrand themselves a little bit there. They're a little kind of crazy.
Teddy Roosevelt. So the one we're watching now is on FDR, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we couldn't even make it through the 2-hour one yesterday.
We were asleep at 8 o'clock at night on Saturday.
Jeff was resting his eyes.
Falling asleep at 8 o'clock.
We don't rest our eyes at 8 p.m. watching television. That's called sleeping.
Yeah, it was rough. So that's the one we're watching now, which is, you don't learn that stuff. And I mean, you learn like, okay, in history, we're going to talk for 5 minutes about this.
Yeah.
But, you don't really know what's going on. And it was in the 30s and 40s. So that's what we're watching now. So we watch some history shows, and we're trying to get caught up. One of my son's favorite shows, I don't know if you've seen this, is Lucifer.
I've never watched it, but I know friends that have watched it.
Okay,
so we're locked in for like a scene or so.
Yeah.
We're watching that now. We're in season 3. There's 6 seasons, so we're trying to get through that this summer.
Not we. I've already watched it too.
I've never seen.
You're always behind. We always have to bring you in, catch you up.
But it's kind of nice though because I don't have to wait every week. I just watch one right after the other.
Yeah.
Instead of like, oh my gosh, can you imagine if we had to wait a week to see what happens next?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't have to do that really with Lucifer.
Was it a Netflix thing?
It was on TV for a couple seasons, and then it went directly to streaming. So.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's the olden days and coming out of you.
Olden
days, we had to wait a whole week before we watched stuff.
Or Harrison doesn't remember this, but recording something with the VCR.
Yeah.
How young do you guys think I am? You know,
You're young.
You usually don't understand our references.
Oh, that one I get.
Recording on a VCR.
Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
I never had to do it, but
See,
I've
that's
seen
what I mean.
it.
That's what I was saying.
I'm
'Cause
aware that technology exists and how it's used.
We had to, when our daughter was born 20 years ago,
Mhm.
we had to record Survivor in the VCR, and we missed, we just up the botched, and
Yeah.
now you have to set the timer, and then the tape doesn't work, and you forget to put the tape
You
in.
ever
You don't have it
accidentally
on.
record over a tape that's a valuable tape?
No, and I'm not. We haven't done anything like that. On like
Okay.
Everybody Loves Raymond. I recorded the Super Bowl over his wedding. No, we've never done that.
I want to say my dad might have been guilty of it. I don't want to put him
Yeah.
on blast.
Right.
I'd have to double check, but I want to say that story is
We-
that, or was a
It's
cassette
easy to
tape.
do.
That or he did it on a cassette tape. I
We
can't
were,
remember which one.
That's a bummer.
we were digging through pictures because it was our 25th anniversary on Tuesday, and we were digging through pictures to kind of post on Facebook, and there was a VHS tape in there. It said it has my dad's handwriting on it. It says Nebraska #1. So, and I know exactly what it is. It was the 1994 Orange Bowl. So I was showing our son. I was like, "Look, Ben, you see this video cassette?" And you know, all my Iowa, you see on Twitter and stuff. Oh,
Mhm.
you got to get out the VHS tapes to
Pretty
see when you were
much.
good. And then so it's just funny that there I have a VHS tape that says
Yeah.
Nebraska #1. And I remember
Maybe
too,
you
like,
should get that as a tattoo in your dad's handwriting next time we win the national
I
championship.
might not ever get that.
Well, it's a good thing to
Yeah,
have
at
as a goal.
I mean, well, then what if you're 80 and it happens, and you're like, "Ah, damn, I don't know if I want to get this
Fine.
anymore."
No.
But I remember.
We don't have anything to watch it on though.
I know we don't have a VHS. I know my mom does.
VCR. Yeah.
My mom has the VCR. I might have to borrow hers because our wedding is on a VHS tape too.
And Katie's being born, like obviously not the actual birth, but like the leading up to and after. Yes.
Yeah, those, like, watching our wedding though. A lot of
It's
people
depressing.
are dead that were in our wedding too. Like my dad, stepmom, all of our grandparents, they're all gone.
Yeah, it's kind
So
of
it's
sad.
just like, I don't really know if we want to watch that or not. It might be a little too sad.
Yeah.
But I remember on that VHS,
Yeah.
my dad, so we recorded the game, and then and actually I would like to watch it because of this, but I remember we also recorded the post game shows.
Oh yeah.
Like we recorded game day,
That's smart.
like after. So I remember like watching, and Lee Corso was on there, and Craig James, and Chris Fowler. I believe Chris Fowler was the guy. And I remember Lee Corso talking about, like, he just had this line of like the fourth quarter was just because Miami was talking big time about, oh, we're gonna own and Sapp and Ray Lewis, and oh, we're gonna own this, and he was just talking about how like Nebraska just dominated the line of scrimmage, and it was just like, it's cool to hear that stuff, you know, like back when Lee Corso had black hair, and
yeah.
We'll have to
Like,
figure out how to
look a little
get that
different.
converted.
so that was kind of cool. I mean, you can watch the game on BTN Classic,
Yeah.
and so I've made the kids watch those games, you know, show when we were good.
Mhm.
But watching the commercials, and then the post game, like breaking it down, and interviews.
The
with
commercials would be nostalgic.
yes,
Yes.
I'm kind of excited to see commercials from
But
that.
that's how we had to record. We just hit record, and sometimes we recorded those games and they didn't work out. But if you recorded it and you hit on that, then I don't have the text line up. So,
I got the text on
I thought-
over here. We do have one
That's
from
what- yeah.
Probate. Couple. He said, this one's referring to your documentary page
Okay.
you're in right now.
okay.
It says, if she starts watching serial killing documentaries, you watch yourself, Jeff.
Oh no,
She
those
does.
are podcasts that I listen to. Jeff doesn't have any idea about that, so you don't need to worry about
She
that.
does listens to serial killing podcasts.
Yeah.
I'm not. That's always it's
Don't worry
it's
about
fine.
it.
People are morbidly curious. It's just a real thing. So
It's
each to their
a thing where it's like you feel like you're more prepared for some type of tragedy when you've exposed it's exposure therapy.
I feel
That's what
less
it is.
prepared when I hear those stories.
I know.
Because I'm like, that is total chaos and randomness.
I know. That's why we've talked about my friend Megan, who gets really heated when our podcast for the show isn't up, because she listens to this
Yes, this
in
is her break.
between.
Okay.
Right.
This is her
Yeah.
break to cleanse her mind.
True crime, fitness fanatics.
Yes.
And then right.
So we're like,
So
yeah.
shout out
Okay.
Megan,
And
because
we
we're
do
the
have
levity.
one more from
Oh.
Probate. Referencing to the old age. And he says, when referencing old age, ask children if they know what a Rolodex is.
I never used a Rolodex.
My dad had a Rolodex.
Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty common.
Do you know what a Rolodex is?
That's just your contact info, right? That's
Yeah.
it's just got to flip through them.
Yeah, you have like
little
index
contact
cards.
Yeah,
Yes.
because you don't have your contacts on your phone.
No.
That's right. You don't have your contacts.
I feel like
Yes.
that one. You guys never used that?
I don't know. Maybe like one of my very first jobs, I was a chiropractic assistant, and maybe we had a Rolodex. I can't remember, but we also had computers, so it probably was a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Really rudimentary spreadsheet.
Yeah, no, my dad had one, and I mean, I had one with you just go alphabetically and
Yeah.
Mhm.
find out. And we were out. My daughter got a new car yesterday, and they were asking her like, okay, what's the address? Like, where do you work? Oh, I work at Bryan East, and okay, what's the address of where you work? So she just looks it up on her phone, and I was asking, I was like, what'd you guys do like 20 years ago? You just had stacks of phone books.
Yep.
Like,
Phone
oh,
book.
what's the address of where you work? Let me get this phone book out, and we'll flip to it to try to find the address. So
Yeah.
Man, I forgot about that. Yeah, the phone book days are brutal.
Phone books. I know.
Like, that's
And it's crazy too.
not updated
Because phone books, your information's just out there. Like anybody has access to your phone number. Like that's wild to me. Because now, I mean, not us, we're a little more public with our business and stuff and our phone
Mhm.
numbers, but it's still crazy to me that you could just. I mean, I remember making prank phone calls and getting those phone numbers out of the phone book.
Yeah,
Like,
same
I know,
here.
right?
It's like,
yeah.
oh, there's the McDonald's.
Right.
Let's call 'em.
Yeah, like that's
order
crazy.
pizza, have it sent to a just at random address.
Right.
Yeah, and then I stay,
all
and then
over
I'm
that.
up at 12 a.m. at night, being like, I can't believe I gave that minimum wage worker such a hard time.
I know.
Like, what am I doing?
Back
I
in the
know.
day.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just think about those. You have those moments when you're just laying in bed, and those like really dumb things you did just find you in the silence of night. A lot of them
Yeah.
when you're
It's-
a youth. And
Yeah.
it's like,
You know, we were just speaking of dumb things we used to do. Like
Uh-oh.
we were driving, so my daughter had to go get her last 2 pay stubs. Right. Well, we had to go to the hospital so she
Yeah.
could go print them off. And this was yesterday, right in the middle of the downpour. So we're driving down 48th, and the right side of the road was like basically flooding.
yeah, and the wind was blowing sideways.
It
Yes.
was
So it was, I
wild.
mean, it was going down the street. So I was kind of driving in the middle, and she's like, oh, if I would be driving, I'd be freaking out. And I was like, back when I was 16, 17, I had a 82 Monte Carlo was my car. And I love that car. And there used to, in Des Moines, there was this bowling alley parking lot where when it would rain a lot, there'd be this huge puddle. And man, I'd drive through that thing, I would gun it, and you'd hit that puddle, and just the 30-foot just waves go up on the side of the car. And I was like, I can't believe I would never do that now, because I'm thinking 45-year-old me is thinking, what if my car dies?
Right.
But
That's true. You're not supposed to.
16-year-old Jeff I'd
Right.
gun that thing. It would hit and just
Could have been
Yeah.
anything in that puddle.
I know, so
I used to get pretty rough
Things
on the gravel roads at home,
Yeah.
and it took me a close scare before it's like I need to stop hauling on the gravel. I was
Yes.
going out to my friend's house. It's like maybe 15 minutes, but a lot of that stretch was gravel roads, northeast
Mhm.
Nebraska, and it was kind of rainy out. So it's kind of drifting around the gravel, and I gunned it. I do complete 180. I'm like close to flipping over into the ditch, pull out of it, and swing myself back around to 360. And I was like,
And then 10 and 2, and you're
10 and 2,
right?
and I was
Just-
driving like it was residential.
Right.
you're just shaking,
25. Yeah.
arm shaking.
We got to Jackson's, and it's just like, what's up, man? Not much. I'm
Pale.
not talking about that. Yeah.
No.
Well, and doing donuts
Yeah, my-
when it's snow. Can you imagine doing a donut in your
I
Kia
never did donuts,
Forte?
but I was in the car once many times when my dad would do donuts.
Oh, you just
in the Southridge parking
now
lot
I'd
in
be
Iowa.
like, oh, I'm gonna hit something, like, but back then you're just,
Oh, yeah. 95 Buick Saber. The wheels were spinning.
the old rear wheel drives were
Yeah.
were the perfect for the donuts in the big parking lots. And
Uh-huh.
especially with my 82 Monte Carlo, man, that thing just.
It was a
But
tank.
now I don't think I could even attempt to do one. Like sometimes the kids are in the car and I turn, I'll get a little fishtail, and it's, "Ah!" like they freak
Yeah.
out and stuff. So it's
No.
pretty interesting.
nostalgia.
Yeah, nostalgia.
Now they have cameras in the parking lot, so that's all done
you can't
within
really
our.
do that.
I don't think anyone does that in my old high school anymore.
Yeah.
Gets attention pretty
Oh.
quick.
Yeah. True.
All right. Well, we just got a few minutes before we go to break. We're gonna get some real talk here in the second half. So, or this next part, we do have a guest coming up here. Kaylin from Lincoln Parks and Rec is going to be with us. She is also a instructor at our locations. Do want to give out a shout out to our sponsor, Fitness Fanatics, is sponsored by Integrative Life Choices. ILC is hiring direct support professionals all over the state of Nebraska, full-time, part-time, days, evenings, and weekends. If you're interested, you can apply at ilc.net/careers. Direct support professionals work to ensure a meaningful life for the people they support. They work to support people in achieving their hopes and dreams. So big shout out to ILC. We appreciate all their support. So our 10-week challenge is coming up here. We have a week from yesterday is when it starts. So July 8th is when we kick off. When we come back for our next segment, we're going to, again, talk a little real life with you guys. A year ago today, we had one of our good friends, Marilee, on the show. So we just want to reflect on that. Marilee passed away in September of brain cancer, but she was with us a year ago today. It kind of popped up on my memories. So a little sad thinking back about that, but we want to talk about that, talk about the 10-week challenge, talk about putting off taking care of yourself. So we're going to talk about all of that stuff coming up, but we're going to go to break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket.
If you struggle with joint pain, there's good news. You don't need surgery to get back to full health. South Point Medical and Aesthetics offers breakthrough non-surgical options for treatment of moderate to severe joint pain. Our patients experience little to no downtime from our procedures, and the results are remarkable. They've had 14 years of successful treatments with patients from 35 states because of an effective word-of-mouth traffic. Learn more about how you can get lasting results for joint pain today at southpointmedical.com or call 402-323-8400. It's time to get the grill out for 4th of July celebrations. Make sure to load up on meat and more at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through July 5th are $2 off all steakhouse burgers and hot dogs. Plus, big news, they have 2 new locations opening soon at 27th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha, with soft openings in mid-July. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Hey, CNC machinists, do you feel like you're in a dead-end job with your boss hovering over your shoulder? That's so annoying. Not at Garner Industries. We provide the opportunity and trust our CNC machinists to bring the talent. I'm Bob Williams, HR Director at Garner Industries, and we are looking for new team members in our CNC department. At Garner Industries, you'll work in a clean, climate-controlled, and safe environment with team members who want to see you succeed. You will also enjoy 4-day work weeks, great benefits, and a positive working culture. Interested? Apply on our career page at garnerindustries.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Hey, you got any gum?
Yeah, check my backpack.
What's this?
Oh, that's naloxone. It can reverse an opioid overdose. I decided to always keep it on me after my friend almost died. It saved his life.
I'm so sorry. That makes me want to have it with me too.
You totally should. Check the pharmacy. It was actually really easy to get and it's easy to use.
I definitely will. Thanks.
Paid for by the CDC, sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place, and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
Red Star in the doubles here. If you had to pass the baton down to the new guy and say, that's the new pipeline, what does that look like?
Conditioning for me ultimately is a game changer. I don't care how much you can bench, how much you can squat. If you can start a game and finish a game in the same condition in the extreme elements, you're going to have the ability to wear down your opponent. And that's what we took a lot of pride in. By the third and fourth quarter, they were dog tired. They knew it was coming at them again, the same it was in the first quarter.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the Fitness Fanatics. Again, we're going to be joined in studio by Kaylin, one of our instructors, and also works for Lincoln Park and Rec. So we're going to see what they have coming up here over the summer, and then kind of see about her background and her journey with ferals and instructing. So we're excited to have her in studio here coming up at 10 o'clock. But first we wanted to talk, just a lot of things have happened in the last couple weeks, and Nicole and I, we've been owners of ferals for over 10 years, and we have a lot of friends. We know a lot of people, and that can be good because we see lives change, and that could be bad because the more people we know, the more grief we deal with, and like losing Marilee. And, we've had some of our members where their parents have passed away, spouses have passed away that, we're kind of in and dealing with and stuff. And, so we're just, thinking about, I was thinking about today, this is as our challenge is starting up here. Pretty much what I do is I'm texting people back and forth. People text in, they text me and they're like, oh, I want to talk about the 10-week challenge. And then, we get into why they want to do it. And then, I really want to, I'm 400 pounds. I want to lose weight. All right. Okay. We can help you with that. Let's get going. And then I just don't hear from them again, so I hear all these reasons why people want to start. But for some reason we keep delaying and delaying and delaying and delaying. So it's just really sad for me, when not saying anybody's, passing away right this second because of their health, but, we do have some members where their dads have passed away because they didn't take care of themselves their whole life. So you might be out there thinking, oh, I'm 25, I'm 30, I'm 35. I can wait. I don't have to take care of I'm busy with kids and work and stress and, that type of thing. So our kind of a point today is like, why wait?
Yeah.
Because you never know if you're going to be here tomorrow.
Right. And it's not just about weight loss. It's not just about the way that you look. It's about improving your quality of life and making the most of the time that you have. And that doesn't mean you have to do something with ferals, but, if a lot of times as I'm sure we've talked about, and many people know that Mark Onweiler lost his wife this weekend to cancer, super aggressive cancer. She was 35 or mid 30s. I mean, that's terrible. By the time when you're in your 30s, we're a little bit older than that, but you're basically still in that time of your life where you're checking boxes like graduate college, get married, buy a house, start a family, work on your career. You're checking boxes, which is fine. That's what we all do. But then there's going to be a point where you have checked all the boxes. And maybe that's a lot of our listeners right now. Maybe you're in your 40s and 50s and all those boxes have been checked. And now you don't know what to do. That's where being healthy and active will help improve that quality of life. This is what you've been working for the whole time. Now, we talk about Marilee. She was 50 when she passed away from cancer, and she was very active. So we're definitely not shaming people for not exercising, because the reality is, and I say this all the time, like, we're all going to die. And that sounds so terrible and cold, but it's true. Like, we all are. It's just sometimes it's so tragic, and that is not in our control. There's so much about how we're going to leave this earth that's not in our control. So it's about focusing on what you can control to make the most of your time while you're here. And just being physically active is going to make that time, more productive, and you're going to have time to do stuff that you maybe didn't even know you wanted to do. You talked to Errol over the weekend, one of our last $1,000 winner.
Yeah. Errol Huck, who joined and did the last 10 weeks, and he's actually going to be with us next week in studio to talk about his journey, but he's going to be doing the Nebraska road race with us here coming up in a couple weeks. And he had said he went out and did a 5K and earlier this week, and he asked his 9-year-old daughter to go with him.
Mm-hmm.
And she went and did the whole thing with him. And I was like, think back to 15 weeks ago. Like, would you even have considered to ask your little girl to go on a run with you or even a walk with you? And he's like, no. And I was like, that right there is, when he won the $1,000, and those moments right there of now him being just after 10 weeks of really focusing on nutrition and working out, that he can now do that with his kids.
And she'll remember that.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And so we were talking about, I think he's going to have her do the 5K with him.
That's awesome.
Coming up in a couple weeks. And, in March when he started, that never even would have been possible. Maybe she asked him to, hey, can we go? And he's just not physically fit enough to
or
do
it would have just never, like, for me, and I wasn't a very athletic kid, but like I never would have asked my parents to go for a run with me, or you know what I mean? Like that was never even would have entered my consciousness as a child. So for that to be
and
something that he feels like he can do and be proud of himself and be proud of her. It's something that they did together. That's why we say this every time. Like, you don't have to do ferals to get healthier, but like just moving your body more, go for a walk each day, do something today that you didn't do yesterday that's going to improve your quality of life. And, I ran today 5 miles this morning, and I was like, oh, it's 65 degrees outside. It's going to be great. I get to the end of my block and my glasses are already fogged up because it was literally 78% humidity outside. I was just sweating profusely. But I don't regret that I was able to do that. I'm just very happy that I was able to go out and do that. And in fact, I've been running for an hour. I ran an hour last week and I ran an hour this week. And within that hour, I ran a mile further today. So that's good. So even I'm seeing improvements on my running just from being consistent. But it's like, you just want to, like, that's kind of the takeaway of all this. We don't know how much time we have. And so just making the most of that time. And it's not magic. Like you have to take care of yourself in some capacity. You have to be able to, move your body and to be able to get the most out of your life.
Well, and we talk about your parents, how they're both in their 60s and they can't do anything.
Right.
Yeah. Because they didn't take care of themselves when they were younger.
Yeah.
And I know we get caught up in mortgages and just trying to get our kids to survive, right? Trying to raise them so they make it through. And making sure they have, a roof over their head and food on the table. And, so we lose track of taking care of ourselves. And I was just chatting with a lady today. She works 2 jobs and she really wants to put health as a priority.
Yeah.
And sometimes we lose sight of that. And the next thing you know, you're 20 years later and, by neglecting taking care of yourself. And again, not doing ferals, but like just eating healthy and being active and being conscious of those things when you get older, and it's a little bit tougher to reverse all of that. Just with Nicole's parents. I mean, her dad can't walk. He's just in a nursing home.
Yeah.
Just looking out the window. And he can't do anything.
Yeah.
And her mom's kind of the same way
because
of the choices they made when they were younger. So it's something we don't really think about because we get caught up in everything. So it's all about making deposits now when you're young. So when you're older, you can reap those benefits.
Yeah. It's like we said too, that back burner, and it can happen in like a variety of ways. Cause I remember my dad, we had the basketball hoop out on the farm when we were growing up, and like my dad loved basketball, big Lakers fan, Kobe Bryant fan growing up. And like all he ever wanted to do was be able to play with us, but he really couldn't. Like his joints hurt so bad. And like his problem wasn't he wasn't like doing. It's not like he was just sitting at home eating potato chips all day,
Mhm.
but it's farming
Yeah.
nonstop. And man, my knee really hurts. My back really hurts. Well, I got to wake up tomorrow. I don't have time to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just like
Yeah,
even
putting-
stuff like
putting that off.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like
yes.
whether it's like going for a walk, going for a run, if you need medical attention, get that looked at. Cause like, yeah, he's just working so hard and now his joints just kill him
Yeah,
all the
and
time.
that's so common, and that's why that's kind of the bad part about like social media nowadays, because you know we're getting fed this content of fitness influencers, and they already have the genetics to have like, you know, a six-pack and all this stuff, and they make it look so easy.
We don't have genetics.
No, we don't. That's why we aren't walking around with six packs. I have a six-pack. It's just under there. Like, I don't think
We all
I
have
know.
them. It's just some are hidden under layers.
Yeah, I don't
They're
think-
in there.
And you know what? It's not even that I don't think I could have a six-pack. I really don't have any desire to live the life that would require me to have a six-pack, you know, to eat chicken and broccoli all day long. And if that's your goal, then that's great. That's a great goal to have. But the vast majority of people, our goals should not be what those fitness influencers are, you know, serving us. Our goals should be to just be able to do what we want to do in our bodies. And it shouldn't matter how much we weigh. It's just a matter of feeling competent and better in your body. And it's hard to do that sometimes, I know, because, you know, stuff like that. If you have a really physical job, like your dad as a farmer, it's like you're asking me to exercise. I'm already a farmer. Like
I've been dealing with cattle in the chute.
Right.
Let me go hit the squat rack.
Yeah,
Get out of here.
I know. Yeah. So that's the part about balance. You know, we don't expect not everyone should be trying to work towards being in a figure competition or being an Olympic weightlifter or whatever. Not everybody needs to know what their, you know, 1 rep max is on a squat or a deadlift. Now those are great goals, especially if you have the desire to do that as a goal. And if you have the time to put into that, those are great goals too. But like the problem is we look at someone else's best case scenario. And if we can't even get close to that, then it's just like, well, maybe I'll try it in a year once X, Y, and Z. Once I get this promotion at work, things will settle down. Or once we get through this, things will settle down. Well, you don't know if you have that. We don't know what we're guaranteed. We are not all guaranteed tomorrow. We're not all guaranteed an hour from now. So, you know, it's just putting that off is just delaying just, you know, a quality of life that you may be missing out and you didn't even realize. Errol didn't even know that he would be excited to run with his daughter on a random day.
I don't think, and we'll ask him next week when he's here, but I don't think he ever, thought he'd be doing a 5K, you know, anytime soon, let alone 16 weeks or 17 weeks after he started. So that was just really cool. It was just kind of hit me like, and when we were out hiking, you know, just being grateful that we're in good enough shape that we can do these things. And, you know, some people take that for granted and, you know, so I think sometimes we take it for granted. But then when, you know, you can,
take it for granted. I don't. That's why I go run and you put off all your gym chores for Sunday. So then you're like, oh, shoot, I would run with you, but I have to go clean the gym.
Yeah, I do. That's what I do on Sundays.
You definitely take it for granted. Corey Keller commented on Facebook and said his 6-pack is in the fridge.
Yeah, see, we all have one.
Right? Oh, yeah.
It's somewhere. It's, you know,
somewhere ice cold.
Yes.
It's about balance. You'll never walk into Farrell's in Lincoln and have Jeff or I shame you for anything. I mean, it may be jokingly shame you, but we want everyone to live a balanced lifestyle. We want you to be active and physical activity and know that you're strong. But we're not gonna shame you if we see ice cream in your cart at the grocery store. Because Jeff's probably there to get his peanut butter party.
Ice cream in my cart.
Right.
Jake sees someone coming in, he throws his Culver's ice cream away.
Yeah.
Didn't get that from my son. No.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So we just, you know, we're looking to, and we had a guy that heard us on, you know, when I was on with Jake and Coach Bush earlier this week, and he popped into the gym and, you know, we were talking nutrition and, you know, he'd said he had done some shake thing where he lost like 50 pounds and gained it all back.
Yeah.
You know, so we're kind of talking about, we really like to help people change not only physically, but mentally. Little bit when I was on with AD earlier, we were talking about, you know, punching that bag, kicking that bag is not only good for your physical health, but it's also good for your mental health. AD talks all the time about how that bag is his therapy. So no matter what is going on in your life, the bag doesn't care.
Mhm.
It's there for you to take out your aggression.
Yep.
As well. So we just want you to live a healthy, balanced life. I mean, we're not perfect. I struggle with food all the time. Like, oh, do I want to do this or do I want to go home and have some eggs?
Yeah.
I mean, so that's always in my head. And that's why I love the Farrell's community and just leaning on each other and holding each other accountable. And, those types of things are really what I like. So we got our 10-week challenge is coming up. If you're not familiar with the 10-week challenge, our classes are 45 minutes a day, 6 days a week. We do kickboxing, strength training, nutrition coaching as well. So they all three kind of play into that. If you have any questions for us here over the next 20 minutes, you can reach us 402-464-5685 on the Honda of Lincoln hotline. We'll be happy to answer any questions you have. We do have 2 locations. One is in North Lincoln on North 70th and Vine. One is in South Lincoln, South 40th and Yankee Hill. We also provide a virtual platform that you can do from anywhere. So I know we have listeners from all over the country. So if you're like, oh, that would be really cool to do that, we can do that as well. You get the same great nutrition coaching, all the great Farrell's workouts, but you can do them in the comfort of your own home at any time that works for you. So you don't have to log in at 5:30 in the morning. You can do them at 2:25 in the afternoon. So whatever works best for your schedule, we can help you out there. Anything else before we go to our
Well,
break?
the other thing too is just sometimes when you start doing something to be active, you're doing it for yourself, but then you don't know how much you're inspiring other people. And to bring it back to Mark again, that's a great example because his transformation in the past year, he's inspired a lot of people to get started. We have a listener that's going to be on in a couple weeks that has lost weight on his own, inspired by Mark, which is awesome. But the thing is, like, it is a little bit of a domino effect. So, if you have someone in your life that maybe you would like them to get, more healthy or be more active, then maybe start with yourself. I went for a run today. I got home and I usually, when I do long runs on the weekends, I make my protein pancakes for breakfast right after I run. I had to eat them in the car today because it was taking forever. But I still got it in to refuel. And I did my run and I'm making my protein pancakes. And Jeff comes in and makes his abysmal cottage cheese applesauce drink.
It's not abysmal.
Yes, it
That
is.
sounds
It's
pretty
gross.
nasty.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm like, yeah.
He blends it up and drinks it.
Sounds healthy. Don't
It
get
is-
me wrong.
It's
You're
very
probably
healthy.
really good for you.
It is very healthy.
A cup of cottage cheese, 2 little packets of apple juice, and some water.
Applesauce.
Or applesauce, not
Apple
apple
juice.
juice.
Is this
Yeah.
a Jeff creation, or did you look
It
this
is.
up?
Oh no, it's a Jeff creation.
Okay.
Remember, we've told the cottage cheese story. He
Yeah,
thought he
that's why
liked
I
it
was-
because he
okay.
tried one piece of cottage cheese, and then we bought a whole tub, and he didn't like it. So he was like, "I'll just blend it up." So he blends it up and drinks it. Whatever. Well, as I'm making my protein pancakes, he comes in and makes his little protein drink. And I'm pretty sure if I hadn't gone for a run and I wasn't making my stuff and eating that, you wouldn't have made that.
I wouldn't have because I didn't know we had cottage cheese in
Oh,
the fridge.
okay. Yep. I know.
And then you used that.
Yeah.
And I was like,
See?
and it was still on the counter. And I was like, because I was just going to have a protein shake. And I was like, oh, but it always seems like my life is a little better when I've had my cottage cheese and applesauce.
It is. That's true. But I
It
mean,
just makes me
that
feel
is
better.
for you. But for me, I feel better when I have my protein pancakes or my turkey sausage burrito or whatever. So it's like, that was definitely a moment of where, that was certainly not my intention, was to have you make your cottage cheese and applesauce.
I literally did not know we had cottage cheese.
And it was literally on the bottom shelf, like not even hidden. So
I didn't know. I didn't look
we've
for
had
it.
it for days.
We usually
but
get it at Sam's Club.
I
We
know,
hadn't
but I
been to
needed
Sam's for a
cottage
while.
cheese.
I think whatever reason, when guys look in the fridge, our eyesight just goes bad.
Jeff,
You just-
wait,
I don't know,
is this
just-
a running thing in our
It's
house?
our eyesight when we're looking for anything, not just in the fridge. Like you open
Yeah.
the cupboard.
That's a good point.
Okay, but
Where's
that's
this
not
at?
true because Jeff has this radar when he thinks that some magical fairy just like restocks and replenishes things in our fridge and our cupboards. And
That's not what it is.
That's literally what he thinks. He's been complaining for 3 days that he's out of instant coffee. Like, where's the ferry? Why hasn't the instant coffee been replenished?
And I told you why.
How many times have you driven past a grocery store in the past 3 days?
Well, and I told you why, because
I know you did.
we like to go to Sam's to get the instant coffee, and we're going there after the show today.
Anyway, our daughter buys sparkling water every once in a while to drink, and she'll go through a little kick where she buys them, and then all of a sudden, they're just cracking them open like, ooh, look what we have.
Well, and how much stuff of mine does she eat?
You do it to me too with my Trader Joe's sparkling water. Also, I go to your gym and I'm like, there's one of my bottles of water. You've never even stepped a toe into Trader Joe's, I don't think.
I don't think that it's yours.
It is, because I make a special
ours.
trip to get there. What do you contribute?
After 25 years of marriage, it's ours.
Okay, but someday it would be nice if you contributed to the magical replenishment of the food in our house.
I don't need to. I'll go and get stuff that I need, like bacon.
Yes, we know. We're all
some
very
naked drinks.
We're all very aware,
and that's okay. That's how the household flows.
Hey, everyone finds their own system.
We all have our roles, and that's how it goes.
And did you already drink it? Because you did.
Yeah, I drank it.
You had one of those sparkling waters on the way here today that
Yeah,
just magically appeared in the fridge.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that stuff that our daughter
anyway
eats magically appears. The eggs.
She's our child, though.
Yeah, that's what she says. Well, you have to do this.
She
for
says,
me.
I didn't ask to be born.
Yeah. So it's our responsibility to feed her.
Anyway, the point is, if you're more healthy and active, will inspire other people in your life to become more healthy and active. And then they can find new ways to annoy you by like eating your healthy food that you bring into the house, and then they glom onto it. So
wouldn't you rather have me eat the healthy food than the bad food?
You eat the bad food too. You had some of her Oreos last night too. Oreos magically appeared in the house. So
well, I get a little carbs in there. A few carbs I need.
There you go. Keep spinning it. Keep spinning it.
Yep. All right. Well, we're going to go to break here. We got one more segment until Kaylin joins us. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Husker Road Race coming up, which we've been talking about every single week for 2 months, and it's almost here. So we'll talk about that here coming up on Fitness Fanatics 93.7 The Ticket.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
If you want all the latest technologies from those big banks, but you also want that hometown feel when you walk in the front doors, choose Midwest Bank. They have top-notch technology. They make banking so easy, and they also have the friendliest staff who will take their time to get to know you and treat you like family. You get the best of both worlds when you choose Midwest Bank. I live on the go, and now I can bank on the go. With Midwest Bank, I have everything I need at my fingertips. I'm volleyball player Allie Batenhorst, and at Midwest Bank, you'll love banking here.
Summer is near. Now's the time to clean or replace your furnace filter to get the most out of your AC. Find energy-saving tips at les.com/save-energy.
Neil Armstrong waited 6 hours and 39 minutes to step onto the surface of the moon. Jackie Robinson waited 20 months to play his first game with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And even DiCaprio had to wait 22 years to win an Oscar. You can wait until your destination. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Mario fue pintor más de 30 años. Cuando me dijo que se le estaban olvidando las cosas, fue difícil. Un día me dijeron que pintara el marco del lado por dentro y pinté el lado de afuera.
Yo le diría a la gente que le diga a su familia lo que está pasando con él.
Si algo se nota diferente, podría ser Alzheimer. Es momento de hablarlo. Visita alz.org/nuestras historias para saber más. Un mensaje de the Alzheimer's Association y the Ad Council.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
Rich Stein and the doubles here. If you had to pass the baton down to the new guy and say, that's the new pipeline, what does that look like?
Conditioning for me ultimately is a game changer. I don't care how much you can bench, how much you can squat. If you can start a game and finish a game in the same condition in the extreme elements, you're going to have the ability to wear down your opponent. And that's what we took a lot of pride in. By the third and fourth quarter, they were dog tired. They knew it was coming at them again. The same it was in the first quarter.
Veterans, do you know what local, state, and federal benefits and services you're eligible to receive? Do you want help navigating the application or appeals process? Speak to your county veteran service officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. You've served our country, now let us serve you. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them?
By their clothes,
Their age?
the way they speak.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in to the Fitness Fanatics. I gotta adjust my camera. Whenever we go to 3 people, it's a little different.
Yeah, you guys gotta be still. When
Yeah,
we go
we're
to
ready. I can't twist.
You've gotten a lot
Circle
better.
around in the car, in the chair.
You've gotten better, I think. I feel like.
All right, we got a quick segment here before the top of the hour. Kaylin's here a little early. How are you?
Welcome.
Good. Kaylin's one of our instructors at Farrell. She teaches at both locations. Teaches strength training for us. She's been at Farrell's now for over 2 years. She also works for Lincoln Parks and Rec. So we're going to talk about all those things coming up at the top of the hour. But real quick, then this last segment, we're going to talk about the Husker or the Nebraska football road race. That's coming up in 2 weeks. Kaylin's actually doing the road race with us. I believe we have 47 people signed up under the Fitness Fanatics page for that. So we're excited. So in case you've been living under a rock somewhere or you haven't been listening to the show, we'll kind of recap the details. The road race is 2 weeks from today. On July 16th, there is a 1 mile fun run for the kids. I suppose the adults can do the 1 mile fun run too.
Yeah,
if you want to do it with your.
They said that last week. They said you could.
Oh yeah, because Dr. Adams doing the 1 mile with his 2 kids and his wife. So 1 mile fun run. It is $25 for the 1 mile fun run. The 5K is $35. So all the proceeds go to pediatric brain cancer research, which is very near and dear to the hearts of all Nebraskans. So that's pretty cool. This year, a little bit different. The race starts inside Memorial Stadium, and then it finishes inside Memorial Stadium. So we had we had Nick Henrich and Ethan Piper on with us last week, and they get a run out of the tunnel all the time.
Yeah.
So for them, it's like, oh, yeah, it's cool. I mean,
I doubt it. I think it's probably still cool. It's not that much.
Running into the stadium for a game versus just running in for
for practice or whatever.
Yeah,
They did talk about how awesome it was, and it's cool that the fans now get to be a part of that.
I mean, I remember when we did the Lincoln half and the couple times we finished in Memorial Stadium, and we coming down Stadium Drive, and then we go through, and you just run in and just. I mean, there's not 90,000 people in there, but you're still like. Cool. You can feel like you're just running like you're Rudy on Notre Dame. Just here we come,
and you can hear the Husker power if you've watched enough Husker football. You can put it in your head pretty easily.
You could even have it set so it's your finishing song put it in
You
your
know,
playlist
Oh,
in
that'd
your
be
head.
incredible.
Right.
Put Tunnel Walk
Yeah,
as
put it
you're
in your
finishing up.
playlist and just start it and run into that. And maybe they'll have that. I'm sure they'll have some
Or
stuff.
I might have the Cornhusker song, the Scarlet
Scarlet
and Cream, when I run
That's
through.
a good one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that might be my
But
my
and I'm
song.
sure they'll be having some of that playing too as you come in.
Yes. So again,
But-
you can go to huskers.com/road race. When you go to register, if you want to be part of our Fitness Fanatics group, there's just a drop down box where you can select a group. So we would really encourage you to join ours. We're going to be, have we heard back on our shirts yet?
Hopefully we'll have a link here in the next day or so tomorrow for shirts. So we're doing like a team shirt also. So even if you're not part of the Fitness Fanatics run group, there's really no reason that you have to be, other than we know that you're part of our group and we can get you included on our
Other
training.
than we want to have the highest number in
Yeah.
our group so we can get a picture with Matt Rule.
Well,
That is what
you're
we're
just
after.
making that up. That's not like it's if you get the most people. You're just
I am
saying
planting seeds.
that's
Just-
not a thing.
just like
Nobody said that was going to happen.
What did Ethan Piper say?
he
gonna
said
say,
he was going to
"Coach,
try to make it happen. But
Coach, you need to check these
All right.
guys out."
Yeah, you got
But
some inside people.
That's
even
right.
if you're not signed up for us with us, if you get one of our shirts, you can still get one of the shirts without being in our running group,
you can
and
get
then
one
you
of our
can be
shirts.
included in our group, even if you've already signed up and you're like, oh shoot, I didn't. We have some of our members that have signed up not under our group because they're like, oh, I didn't.
And
know.
they're like, well,
Yeah.
I didn't even know
No.
you were doing this.
Yeah, right.
Welcome to your gym.
We'll share that
Yes.
whenever we get that order link. We'll share it on our Instagram, Fitness Fanatics Radio. But if you're listening and you're interested in getting that information, just shoot a text over to Jeff 402-310-4026.
And Bubba texts in and says, way to speak that into fruition.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Oh, yeah. He's just making it sound like
You see it, you speak it, and you achieve
you made
it.
it sound like it's a perk, but it's not. That's just what you think is going to
That's
happen.
what I'm putting out there.
Okay.
If you guys managed to do that, you'd be tied with Rashawn Jackson with the most Matt Rule interactions.
Okay.
Maybe DP's got some under the radar. I don't know.
Maybe.
DP's all over the place.
Yeah.
That AD might have one in there.
80 maybe. I haven't.
I don't know.
Maybe at the Frank Solich thing where.
Oh yeah, maybe he could have. That's right. But no, it'd be super cool if you
Yeah.
guys if that could happen.
Yeah. So even if you're not part of our running group and you want to get a shirt, and we'll post about it, like I said, on our Instagram, and you can reach out to us if you want more information about it. But we'll have a couple shirt style options, and it's just going to have, just a fun little graphic on the front and stuff. So.
Yeah, so we're probably thinking for our shirts, we'll probably have a by probably like next Thursday. I mean, it might be the deadline.
Yeah, it'll be pretty quick turnaround.
Because
So
we need to get them. We need to get them done and get them out so we can get them dispersed to everybody.
yep.
on
So
there
we'll
that
share
gets them.
that, like I said, on our Instagram, Fitness Fanatics Radio, or reach out to Jeff.
Yep. But again, huskers.com/road race.
Well,
Um,
and Kaylin, you've done this race before.
Yes, I've
Yeah.
done it twice.
That's what I thought.
with
'cause-
us. Okay.
Yeah, Mike was just wearing his shirt the other day in class. He came to class.
Now that's
wearing it.
weird that I didn't know who Mike was a year ago. But now I know who he is.
Yeah. Yep.
And you remember my experience last year.
I can't remember.
Yeah, no.
Unless it has to deal with football specific.
Well, okay.
My memory is not good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, this is the first race I ran with Mike, and he has way longer legs than I do.
Mhm.
So I reached a new PR, which is great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I went a little bit too far. And remember, I came up to you after
Got
the race.
hurt?
No.
Oh.
Well, mentally maybe hurt. I had a little, I had to go find a trash can.
Level 10. Oh,
right?
level 10.
That's exactly what you said to me. You're like, yeah, level 10. I was like, I don't want to do that
That's
ever
level
again.
10 right there.
I've never pushed myself that hard on a
Me
run ever.
either, and I never will again.
You've
Well,
never puked
yeah.
after a run?
No, I felt
it's too much.
nauseous many times, but I don't push myself that hard.
I feel like that's actually
Yeah.
pretty. I don't know. Jeff, have you?
No.
We don't know.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, we're completers, not competers. Remember, Harrison?
Yeah.
We're just
Now,
there to complete.
If I ever have the nerve to go do this 400 to see if I can beat Nick
Oh,
and
dude, they'll
VJ
puke after 400.
and Terrell, I'm really thinking about doing this.
You should. You could beat those guys.
But
They came in out of shape completely. They did zero training.
I've never ran,
And I'm
for
not
that
being
as
mean.
fast
I
as
could
can.
I could call them and they would say, "Yeah, dude, we just went in cold turkey."
You don't think VJ
Yeah.
trained as much as he talked about this for months and months and months?
Okay, he did beat Nick. So maybe he trained a little bit.
Or-
but I think you guys have been training, like it's your job or something. So.
Yeah, but not for that, not for sprinting. But
you don't think he could beat that time?
I don't know. I don't have any concept of what a 400 time is. Like, I don't know.
A good high school athlete, if at least was for C2, if you're medaling, you're getting like 54, 55 seconds.
I don't know. I have no concept.
I've never even
not
attempted
tested.
it.
Right.
So maybe we will. We have to find a track that I can go out and
Lincoln Christian. That's where I've gone on tracks before. But anyway, so that's awesome. You PR'd. I mean, I don't know.
Awesome.
We'll see. But
I think you
don't
just
think
had
the heat. The heat is a huge factor for that race. I would not recommend trying to make that be your race that you're PRing.
No. And like I said, it was not my goal.
Yeah.
Not at all.
You just got swept
just
up.
Happened.
Swept up in the moment. Did you beat Mike?
No. Well,
Oh.
we finished together.
Oh,
so,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I think
Cool.
you had that adrenaline of I gotta stay with him, or maybe he
Yes.
was staying with you. I don't know.
I think we were staying with each other and just didn't
Oof.
realize what was
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
It was too late for me. So
Well, this
Yeah,
year
you don't have to run that fast.
no.
this year I'm not going for any time. I'm gonna try to enjoy the atmosphere. Where last year I was just trying to finish, and then I get done and Nicole comes in and she has selfies with Fred Hoiberg and all the different players, and I'm just
Smiling the whole time.
and I didn't get any of that.
Right.
I was just trying to survive. Like, let's go. But
Nope.
our kids will be out there doing it with us. So it'll be exciting.
If you're thinking about it, just do it. Just do it. I'll
Just
walk
do it.
with you. If you are wearing a Farrell shirt or Fitness Fanatics shirt and I see you out there and I don't know you, I will come back and get you. I will finish it with you. So don't be afraid.
All right.
To
Well,
sign
that's
up.
it. We're going to be back here. We're going up to break. We'll be back at the top of the hour. Don't go anywhere. Fitness Fanatics 93.7 The Ticket.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supported with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Victor flew for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also a caregiver. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to move halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
A smoke-free environment is the only way to fully protect from the dangers of secondhand smoke. That's why smoke-free policies are so important to me. Whether it's in my car, apartment building, or when I'm dining outdoors, there's no place for secondhand smoke or e-cigarette aerosol. Breathe easier knowing the facts. Visit smokefree.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
General contractors, business owners, property owners. The success of your business requires doing business with the right people. And the right people when it comes to drywall, acoustical ceilings, and specialty products are at Premier Drywall. Kevin and his crew will give your project the response and attention it deserves.
You'll get all of the attention to detail and quality that you would expect from someone who's been in the business for 30 years. For your new builds, build outs, or renovations, reach out to Kevin. Kevin at premierdw.com. Premier Drywall in Lincoln.
The Ticket Water Cooler.
Typically, you kind of think of Nebraska as far as in-state recruiting as might not get the skill position players, but you can pepper in some offensive linemen and maybe a linebacker here and there. This class is led by its in-state skill position players now. I mean, you're thinking down the line, you could, for years, have Daniel lining up with Davon Holland, Isaiah McMorris, and now Carter Nelson. Those are all your skill positions.
Keeping the highly talented, highly ranked players that are in the state with you, the home state school, is a step in the right direction.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find field education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket at theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Essig.
All right, welcome back in to the Fitness Fanatics. We are top of hour 2. It is July 2nd. If you missed any part of the show, you can check us out on our podcast page. Just go to theticketfm.com. We are under the Ticket Weekends. We are joined in studio by Kaylin, one of our instructors, and also works for Lincoln Parks and Rec. How's it going?
Pretty good. How about you?
Great. So
she was just on in the last.
Well, I know, but
segment.
sometimes people join.
It's okay.
Sometimes people with their listing
changed since then.
Yeah,
you could have had a whole outfit change and everything. Dang it, missed opportunity.
And if they're listening to the podcast and they start at the top of the hour,
okay,
they won't know who she is.
All right, sure.
Mm-hmm. That's why at the start of every segment we'll say we're joined in studio by Kaylin. Blah 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 blah. You know, I mean, this isn't our first rodeo with a guest.
Now you guys almost got the production stuff figured out.
I know.
Shout out to you guys.
We pushed.
I can't tell you
the
the amount of shock when I came back and I was like, they got all the mics on and
we pushed them all.
Yeah,
just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, which is better.
Yeah.
You know, just pick them all if you're not sure.
Right. If you missed the first segment, Harrison got locked out when our show was starting, and so we just kind of wung it for a
The
second.
intro
Winged it.
popped in, and we're like, okay, what do we do? So I reached over to the board, just hit all the mics, turned them on, and we were off and rolling.
No smoke came out. It was all good.
I came in right when you guys started. I just heard the music and I was like, uh-oh. I was like, I made just the time, hopefully.
I was like,
and
Harrison.
Just hear these goes, I think we're on to start the show.
That's how we roll.
Credit to you guys. You got to figure it out.
We're paying a little bit of attention.
Yeah. That's how we roll.
All right, Kaylin. So we want to get to know you a little bit. So we always like to ask our guests kind of like your fitness background, where you went to school, where you grew up, if you played any sports when you're in your younger days. So yeah, where did you grow up here in Nebraska?
Well, speaking of technical difficulties,
can you not hear?
I can't hear, but can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah,
Okay.
well,
I can hear
let's
you
do
guys
a
'cause
headphone
you're
swap. I won't need mine.
here. Okay, perfect. Just in time. Yes.
This is real life, folks. This
Right?
is how
Real life.
we roll.
Much better. Much
Okay.
better. Yeah, I grew up in Nebraska. I'm from McCook, is where I was born and raised for my younger years, and then moved to Kearney when I got like midway into elementary school. And so I consider Kearney more my hometown.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Kearney High Bearcat.
Okay.
I played every sport because I love sports. I love to be outside. In high school, I played softball and tennis were my primary sports. I also played competitive volleyball.
How many kids were in your graduating class? That always gives me a good idea
That's
of
a
like
great
how big you're
question. So,
approximately.
Yeah, Kearney High's class A. I think there were like 500.
Okay.
In my
Yeah.
class-ish.
Oh, that's pretty big.
Yeah, that's a lot. So like Lincoln schools.
Our schools, we had like 90.
I had 98.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's
40.
always how I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
40.
And I mean, I knew Kearney would be bigger, but I just kind of just to relate it to like Lincoln. It's like the Lincoln high schools then probably.
At Harrison
Yeah.
School, everybody just went. They were in the same class.
One room school.
There were 40 people in math, and then they all went to the science class together, and then they all went to the history class, and then PE. Right?
Are we talking like per class?
Yeah.
You said 40 was in your graduating class, right?
Yes, 40.
Yeah, so
it's-
you're all in the same room, and you just went. You're all
Probably
in the same
not.
class.
You just split up into like 2 groups. You know, you got to figure
Two
so it's pretty
Got
much
to
how it's
mingle
split
a
up.
little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I remember my dad told me that there was like 12 kids in his class, and 7 of them were Essings. All his brothers.
I had
So
there
everybody
was
had-
40 kids in my class. Yeah, I was one of 7 Arnses. I wasn't related to a single one of those.
Wow.
So I
Small
put
town.
the like lockers in alphabetical order. Small towns you can imagine.
What do I get?
7 oranges in a row. Then you get to about 5 Beckers in a row, and then you get to about 8 Steffens in a row. It just keeps going.
How do you
like
have
that.
7 Arns
That's funny.
and you're not related to any of these people? How's
I don't
that
know. We
impossible?
dominate those lands up northeast somehow. It goes back way in time, but I guess there's a lot of us
Back
running
to the
around.
Viking days.
Yeah, because I didn't
Right.
believe my parents, and then I went through it, and I was like, wow, okay.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
funny. Okay, back to
All
Caitlin.
right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail, but I was just wanting. I needed a frame of reference.
Yes,
Okay.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and all the sports I wanted to play were during the same season,
Mhm.
so that's kind of why volleyball fizzled out. I wanted to do golf, volleyball, and softball all during the fall. It's like, what
Mhm.
the heck? Speaking of running the 400, I don't know if we were on air.
No, we
weren't.
talked
We were
about that
talking
off air.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember spring came around and I didn't have a spring sport lined up, and I was like, do I want to run? No. Which is funny now because I love to run. So I went out for tennis, never playing tennis before. And I remember the assistant coach was like, would you go out for swim team if you didn't know how to swim? And I was like,
Whoa.
well, maybe. So I went out anyway.
Isn't that how you learn how to play?
Yeah,
You-
yeah.
Wow.
So that happened. But then the next year I was playing varsity. So I was like,
Yeah,
"Ah."
right.
So,
Wow.
so yeah, that's kind of my sports background. But
Mhm.
I've always loved sort of the community team vibe of sports. That's why I love softball. Tennis was, again, I was new to tennis. I favored doubles because it's a team.
Mhm.
Also singles was fun too, because it's really a mind game of you're competing against your opponent, but also like you have to manage yourself like emotionally and physically. So that's
like,
kind of my sports
single
background.
sports like tennis or whatever. It's almost like a true performance. Like you're performing. Like,
Yes.
yeah, because it's just you. It's
Yes,
a
and
spotlight just on
everybody's
you.
watching you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
That would be stressful.
Yeah.
Any I know tennis probably isn't talked a lot about on these airwaves.
We talk
Imagine.
about it. No,
Okay,
not a ton.
So, did you like have any favorite tennis player? Like when you were growing up watching, did you watch tennis at all?
No, wasn't ever really on that much either. I mean,
when I was a kid, I watched a lot of those Grand Slams.
no,
Like,
we didn't have. I didn't have.
No, that
cable.
was a little after my.
After.
Yeah, mine was like. I mean, I love Steffi Graf.
Okay. Yeah.
So Steffi Graf, Boris Becker, Andre Agassi. That was like my I mean, I don't watch now, but
Mhm.
when I grew up, I did. So that's why I was just asking if you had any.
She was busy playing, not watching.
That's true. I mean,
She's-
like I love Serena Williams.
Not living vicariously.
Right.
She was
No,
actually
no.
doing it.
The
Unlike
difference
me.
between you and
That
real
makes-
athletes.
Now that
Yeah.
makes sense. Any
Anyway.
cool like stories? Like, did you go to state for anything? Like, okay, so yeah,
Mhm.
tell us about that. What
Yep.
sport did you go and play in the state tournaments?
So for tennis, my senior year, we did state tennis. We got second place for doubles.
Oh, awesome.
Cool.
So that was probably the biggest. And now I'm blanking on the rest of it.
Yeah. It's like- it gets longer and farther away the older you
is,
get.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes. But no, it's fun. I
Yeah.
love to be outside, and I still do.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then how did that progress like from high school? Like how did your fitness like progress?
Oh, significantly.
Yeah, in a good way. Like it
In
did.
a good way.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. It's usually the other way around. You gotta get done, or you go on to college and you do stuff, and then you kind of fizzle out. But,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, I would say high school years was like the first time I thought about like physical fitness, because you're doing sports and you can feel it. It's
Mhm.
like, wow, I ate terrible, and then I played terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And still learning from that. But that was like the first time I had conditioning of any sort, training of any sort. But yeah, and then once you go to college, you're like, oh, I'll do it, and then you don't, and then that freshman 15 is real. So yeah, I would say there's been peaks and
Yeah.
valleys throughout my whole life of fitness.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you go to UNK there, right?
No.
Okay.
I went to UNL.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's what brought you here then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And that's part of the reason why I love this 5K is because it's like nostalgic for me. That's where I used to run. So it's like kind of revisiting home for me.
Yeah.
I lived on campus my whole college career. I was a resident assistant, so I lived in Able for 4 years. So overlooking the course too, could see the stadium from there. But yeah, not from Lincoln, but I kind of feel like I am because once I came to college here, it was like, oh,
as
this
an
is like a home.
adult,
Wow,
right?
I just shook the whole table.
That's okay. I don't.
You kind of,
it's
yeah,
fine.
you hear that and you
Yes.
just tap it.
It's
You
okay.
hear it on the headphones. It doesn't go over the airwaves.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Just
So
so
never
don't worry
mind.
about that
Are
too
you
much.
I'm
sure
not
about
that
that?
strong. I'm not that passionate about what I'm talking about.
Anyway, yeah. So in college, what activities did you do in college then? Did you get back into fitness at some point?
At some point, yeah.
running.
Yeah.
Obviously, you said.
Yes, running was like kind of the easiest way for me to like escape and kind of get in my own mental space. I even took like classes. There was like a weightlifting class for 1 credit hour that I took a scuba diving class. I
Ooh,
took
fun.
a rock climbing class. So I was like, it's kind of like you have to go.
Yeah.
Sort of like you have to go take care of yourself because you have to go to these classes. You already paid for them. That's kind of like how my mental.
And you're getting a credit for it too. So you
Yes.
have to, it's like extra
Absolutely.
motivation.
Yes, for sure.
So you've kept up with running then.
Yeah.
Does
That's
that
kind of been the solid like thing that's brought me through, which ironically I did not like running. And then I just started getting into it. I think I must have hit a point where I finally felt like it was enjoyable, which
it takes a while.
Yeah.
Like people don't understand that. It was the same way for me. I didn't start running till I was a lot older, but I started running and training for a spring race in Iowa, and I hated running a lot until like that following fall was the very first time. And it was for our son's birthday, Ben, and I was going out to like get a couple things for his last minute birthday party, and someone was running as I was going there, and my first thought wasn't like that person's crazy, even though I was a runner, but you still see runners and you're like, what are they doing?
Yeah. Aren't they riding a bike?
I know.
And then when you're a runner and you see a bike rider, you're like, oh, they're taking
Cheaters.
the easy way
I
out.
know.
I'm running
I got
down
passed
this
by
hill.
so
and they're
many
coasting
bikers
down the
today.
hill. Yes.
But that particular day, I saw a runner and I thought, man, this is a great morning for a run. And that was the turning point. But it took like, I don't know, probably like 9 months for me to even think that I enjoyed it. So I think that keeps people from running sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
You
For
know,
sure.
you're not always going to you don't always like stuff right away. There's a learning curve for everything, but you get rewarded for it and then you enjoy it.
I feel like
And-
running gets fun too once you get your baseline stats.
Yeah.
And then once you know where you're at, then it's like a little more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Because when you just start out running, when you know you're out of shape, it's not very fun to like look at how slow you were. It's like once you start out and kind of do it enough, and then you see improvement, and then that's where you get like runners. That's how you become a runner.
Yeah.
At least that's how it went for me.
Yep. And then sometimes you have crappy runs and it sucks, but that makes the great ones that much better.
Yes,
So, yeah.
for sure.
So you've done I know you've done market to market because I did it with you one year. Yep.
Yes,
We did market together. What other types of runs have you done?
So I've ran a couple half marathons. When I lived in Oregon, I did the Portland half marathon, done the Orca race in Seattle a couple times. That's also a half
Ooh.
marathon.
Probably some nice things
Views.
to look at.
Yes. Oh my
Versus
gosh.
running in Lincoln.
Yes. Ironically, as like a girl from Nebraska, orcas and killer whales have always been my favorite animal. 'Cause, you know, we have so many around here.
Right.
Yeah, everywhere.
They're
Home
mythical
plate,
creatures.
they're-
Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the orca race, obviously I was attracted to it because of the name.
Yeah. They saw you coming.
Yes, yes. But it's along Alki Beach in Seattle. So it's literally along the edge.
Wow.
So you can literally watch for whales while you're running.
Did you see any?
No.
Oh, man.
I've seen whales many
Yeah.
times up there, but yeah. Ran it twice, didn't see any whales. It's fine. It's still a great race.
Mhm. So what brought you to Oregon?
Great question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a cousin that lived in Oregon. She still lives in Oregon, and she moved out there when she was young after college. She got married. So that was the first time I was able to go out there. And I just remember getting off the airplane. I saw Mount Hood.
Oh yeah,
in the
we've
distance.
seen that in the plane. Yes,
I
It's pretty
landed and I was like, how can I live here? It's, like,
Yeah.
it's just like beautiful. Like I said, I like to be outside. I love to hike. It's just different. And like I said, I was there for my cousin's wedding, and I was like, I got to find a place or find a way to get out here. And so I did. During college, I took up a 6-month internship at ZGF Architects, which is an architecture firm based out of Portland. They're an international architecture firm, and knew a classmate from UNL that worked there. And I contacted her and I was like, hey, what can I do to get here? And applied and got it. So that's
so
how I
cool.
got my foot in the door there.
Yeah. That's so cool. How long did you live there?
I think it was about 4 years.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. That's cool. Fun fact, Jeff and I were going to move to Washington State back in our early Farrell's, owning Farrell's thought career. That was one of the places we were going to go. I was really looking forward to that temperate weather.
Yes.
But Jeff said, how about those Huskers?
I know.
But
just the timing wasn't right. It's fine. We've made peace with it, but man, that weather.
Yeah. No, and I know we're talking about Huskers later, but one of my favorite things about like living in a different state was finding all the Husker fans. Because like I wear my Husker hat all the time, but I also live in Nebraska now. You're wearing yours, but when you're in Oregon,
and our
out.
hats are old.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're faded. Yeah.
Yes.
Hers is probably supposed to look like that.
No.
Okay.
Actually, I just wear it and I sweat a lot.
Yeah.
Me too.
Jeff too.
Yeah. But I feel like Husker fans stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
And everywhere, because in a good way.
Yes. Not in an Iowa Hawkeye fan way.
No.
That's different.
Yeah, good way.
Exactly. But you'd be on the street riding your bike and I'm wearing a Husker shirt and somebody would be like, go Big Red.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
So let's talk real quick about Farrell's. Starting Farrell's, we have a couple minutes here, but so you started Farrell's. You're wearing, I noticed right away, you're wearing your little Muscle Sprouts shirt from your team. Yeah. So kind of talk about that. What got you into kind of Farrell's and stuff like that?
Yeah. So kind of backing up, I was in Oregon. Had a lot of life events happen to me in like a 4-year span. It was just like bam, bam, bam. So yeah, moved to Oregon. My mom was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer while I was still in Oregon. She was in Nebraska. Then I got married and then got pregnant and then my mom died. And then we were still out in Oregon when all of this happened in a very short period of time. And during that time, I stopped taking care of myself like completely. And luckily, for me, there was like a little glimpse of taking care of myself because I was, I had a baby growing. And so we were in Oregon, ended up moving back to Nebraska. And that was like the worst I had ever felt in my life. Had very bad postpartum depression. I weighed, 50 pounds heavier than I had ever, even after my daughter was born. And I just remember it's like, okay, I need to do something. So I remember going out for a walk and I was like, my knees hurt.
Right. Yeah. Wake up call.
Yes,
I know.
Yes. And I've never been that type of person that's like, man, I feel like I look bad. It was more so like, I feel bad.
Me too. I was winded at the top of our stairs in our house. Like that was the thing that like, I was like, I am in my 20s. I should not be winded by my house stairs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
That's 100% what it was for me too.
Yeah. And so that was, again, kind of my wake up call. We had moved to Lincoln and I sometimes had drive to go run, but I didn't always have drive to go run. And I think everybody experiences that. And that's part of the reason why I love Farrell's. It's like you come and you know what you have to do and you do it. So yeah, I found Farrell's. I actually had a friend that I worked with. Her name's Krista. She's at Meadow Lane.
Okay.
I saw she had done a 10-week challenge on Facebook and I was like, that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day at work, I used to work at Olson, the engineering firm downtown. I saw somebody with a sticker on their water bottle and I was like, where'd you get that? And she's like, oh, I teach there. It was Kelly.
Okay, yeah. I figured it was Kelly.
I was like, okay. So it's like 2 days in a row I'm seeing the signs of like Farrell's and I'm like, okay, well maybe I should just like go check it out. And so I remember driving to Jamie Lane and being like, can I try this? And Jeff was there and he's like, sure.
Yeah.
And I just sat up in the back and just kind of punched the bag. I had no idea what I was doing.
Yep.
And then he's like, well, if you want to do like 10-week challenge, you should do it. And so that's how I started January 2019.
Cool.
I don't remember any of that.
That's fine.
Right.
I know. You see a lot of people. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
I see
It's a
when I-
memory that sticks with me though. It's
Yes.
like I
Okay.
had such a good experience
Yeah.
of like coming in and feeling welcome, even though I felt like fish out of water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just totally normal.
Yeah.
You know, if you come into a Farrell's workout and it's easy, you probably don't need to be at Farrell's. Like,
Oh, right.
you know,
Yeah.
that's not true exactly. But like, if you're a beginner and you aren't struggling, then, you know, I don't know, there's definitely always room for improvement, but it should be hard.
Yeah.
It should feel foreign to you. You're starting something, trying something new. That's what being able to see yourself progress. That's where you get accomplishments. Like you remember when you struggled through the warm up and
Yep.
then you're like, you know,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
And then now you just loved it so much that you are now an instructor.
That's right.
And you've been instructing for over a year, I'm assuming,
It has
right?
been.
A year?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. And what's cool about Farrell's is all of our instructors all started off doing the 10-week challenge. They did the 10-week challenge and Farrell's helped change them. And then they decided they want to help change others. What's before we go to break, what's like, I mean, anything rewarding about instructing that you think about when you get up there and you're like, you teach people and they're like, oh, that was an awesome class. Or, I mean, just tell us a little bit about
what
that.
do you get out of
Yeah,
instructing?
what do you get out of it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, exactly what you just said too. I love it getting feedback, whether it's good or bad, or like, hey, you counted way too fast.
Yeah.
Or slow down. It's like, just I'm excited. But yeah, I think for me, it's made me be more mindful of what I'm doing.
Mhm.
I feel like some days, which is fine, I show up and I just kind of go through the motions. Whereas now when you're instructing, you have to think about what you're doing because people are watching you and you want people to do it safely and correctly to make sure that they're getting the full experience. So I think it's been really fun challenging myself that way.
All right.
Yeah,
So
awesome.
we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk Lincoln Parks and Rec and see what they have going on this summer with our guest, Kaylin, who's in studio. So don't go anywhere. 93.7 The Ticket, Fitness Fanatics.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Beat the heat and make 4th of July truly monumental at Generation V.
Generation V.
This weekend only, Generation V has incredible deals that'll blow you away. Stock up on select disposables as low as $10 and enjoy 25% off all pet products.
Generation V.
July 1st through 4th, experience monumental savings up to 33% off mods, e-liquid, Delta 8, and more. Generation V with 16 Nebraska locations and a new location at 27th and Superior. GenerationV.com. Vapes contain nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
Rich in the doubles here. If you had to pass the baton down to the new guy and say, that's the new pipeline, what does that look like?
Conditioning for me is a game changer. I don't care how much you bench, how much you can squat. If you can start a game and finish a game in the same condition in the extreme elements, you're going to have the ability to wear down an opponent. And that's what we took a lot of pride in. By the third and fourth quarter, they were dog tired. They knew it was coming at them again, the same it was in the first quarter.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how to dance. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee, nod your head, shake your hips, and bite your lip ever so slightly. Now, with one hand in the air, point at people with the other hand. I call that the rock star.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now, make a face like it just smells something bad.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy and healthy 4th of July weekend. We are thankful for this great nation and celebrate our independence, which should never be taken for granted. This important message comes to you from Bart, Mike, and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down. Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. I just need to make sure I'm adjusted here. All right, welcome back in, Fitness Fanatics. We are joined in studio by Kaylin. She works for Lincoln Parks and Rec, which we want to focus on today. So let us know, what do you do for Lincoln Parks and Rec?
Yes, so I am a park planner at Lincoln Parks and Rec. So I work in the planning construction division. So basically, again, my background is landscape architecture.
Okay.
So I do everything from design through construction management of all of our park projects. And to give you a little context, the city of Lincoln has 137 parks, 93 playgrounds. That's about 7,000 acres of land that Parks and Rec manages. And to put it in perspective for you, 7,000 football fields.
Wow.
Okay, it's all connected now.
7,000 football fields?
Yes, that's
Whoa.
managed by Parks and Recreation.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's I would never guess it was that high. I don't have any concept of what acres are either, but
football
We don't.
field.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Okay,
city slickers.
okay.
We don't know
Yeah.
what an acre is.
An acre is a football
It's
field?
about a football field.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Now we know.
Now you
I
know.
did not know
Yes, yes.
That surprised me. I figured you guys actually would have.
No. Why? Because we grew up in Iowa too. Like,
Well, yeah, you're from
out-
Nebraska, Iowa. Like
Yeah.
that's all
City,
that's around you.
I mean,
all
I
anyone
know
talks about is
that-
how many acres they got.
They talk about it, but I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah, I don't know how big. Like
Okay.
in
Now
the
you
house.
do.
it's-
Yeah.
I'm glad I can teach you guys something.
Yeah, no
Yes.
judgment. No judgment.
Somebody say like,
Okay,
oh,
farm boy. I mean, you would know, but
we have-
my family was not farmers.
no, I didn't.
I lived down the country though, but we didn't have a farm.
Somebody'd say our house is on 5 acres. Okay.
I have no concept of what
That's
that
awesome.
means.
I don't know how much.
Well,
land
now
that
we
is.
know.
I knew what a front yard and the backyard were. That's what I knew.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Okay, good to
Yeah.
know. I didn't know that, so I'm sure someone else learned something new today too.
Yes.
Probably
yes.
not.
Mhm.
They
I'll ask
probably
you
all,
next week, and
Yeah.
I'll see
probably
if you
all know
remember.
what an acre is.
Yes.
Well, Harrison, now you can feel superior because you know something we don't, because we try to shame you sometimes for not knowing.
Yeah,
stuff,
you guys. I
'cause
get
you're
the,
a baby. Yeah.
The youth stuff, man.
know.
You got to learn to combat that stuff,
I know.
especially with the technology.
You got us.
I
Yeah.
You get that a lot. It's like you wouldn't know what a Rolodex was. Well, Crowbait, I do.
You got us.
My grandpa had one.
Yeah.
I
On
remember
his
seeing
desk.
it in his desk.
You got us.
All right,
Okay.
I'm getting you guys off track.
I
Go
know.
ahead.
Anyway.
It's okay. Yeah.
Okay. So what projects are you guys working on right now?
A lot of projects.
Mhm.
So our playgrounds in particular. So like I said, I do all things design.
Mhm.
You maybe think of a park, you're like, okay, what is there to design in a park? It's a park. Well, it's all designed.
Mhm. Yeah.
So our playgrounds, like I said, we have 93 playgrounds in our system right
I
now.
passed one of them today on my run. I ran by Larson Park.
Oh, perfect. I love that one.
Yeah.
That's a nice spot.
Yep. Our
Um,
daughter loves to take her hammock up there. It's a new thing that she does. Hangs in her hammock and reads.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
But I'd say sort of like the standard bread and butter projects for me are playgrounds.
Mhm.
Our playgrounds are on 25-year replacement cycles. So I think that's also a shock to the public.
Yeah,
It's like you
I feel like
see it.
playground technology goes a lot happens in 25 years. Yeah.
Yes, things change. There's new products out.
Accessibility and stuff. Yeah.
Accessibility and inclusivity.
Mhm.
So we try to knock out like 5 to 6 playgrounds a year. This is part of like our rolling CIP capital improvement projects. We have like priority lists of which playground is needing to be updated in each district. So Lincoln's broken up into districts. There's Northwest, Northeast, Southeast, Southwest, that are all managed by district supervisors and field staff. So they help us kind of come up with that list of like, hey, this playground it's really out of date. It's
Mhm.
not safe anymore. It needs replaced. So we'll put it into our list of projects that we need to work on. I'm also a certified playground safety inspector. That sounds like a made up
Ooh,
title,
right?
but it's not.
It sounds like something from Parks and Rec for sure.
It is. And actually, there's a lot of things that happen on that show. It's like,
I was
wow,
just
this
going to ask
happened
you. Yeah.
yesterday.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So you have watched that show and enjoyed it. Okay.
Yes. Enjoyed it. I've laughed. I've cried watching that show. Yeah.
That's funny. That sounds like so much fun getting to design kind of playgrounds and stuff like that. I'm sure there's a lot more involved in it than just like
I want this slide.
Yeah.
Right.
This swing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
No more steel slides, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'd
Actually,
imagine.
contrary, they're coming back.
What?
Yes. So,
Oh.
yeah, I know.
The
you're
rocket
shocked.
slide?
Your
Yes, I
eyes
am.
are huge.
Because those were a million degrees in the
So,
summer.
yes, when we talk about like being inclusive,
Okay.
one of the things with plastic slides is that they're not inclusive. So kids or adults that have cochlear implants, if they go down a plastic slide, it creates static shock and will short them out. So the
Okay.
only way to avoid that would be metal. And on top of that, they're more durable. And people think like metal hot.
Yeah.
Yes, if they're facing south.
Yeah,
That's a
where
good point.
Yes,
Yes.
that's
I mean,
where
look
the
at this. This
and
is,
the
I mean,
landscape architecture comes in with
Yes.
that too. I bet.
Yes.
Yeah.
This isn't just some willy nilly
Listen to all of us.
Jeff and
we're
Harrison
learning right
throwing
now.
up a slide in the
No
backyard
average
facing
Jeffs
west
out there.
Right.
Right.
These are
It is
the
done in the
experts.
summer.
de-
Yeah.
I was thinking
designing
the
these.
slide's the problem. I was
Yes.
the problem.
Yes.
I don't think
The
people.
designer was the problem.
I think when those original, the 70s and 80s, when those slides came out, nobody cared. Nobody even knew which direction. They didn't have any,
Yes,
But that is
unfortunately.
true because the static electricity, I don't love plastic slides.
I don't
for that
either
reason.
because you shock yourself.
Yeah. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, then you get all the scratch marks on the inside of those and they get filled with dirt.
Oh
and
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I could definitely see how they wear down way
Yes.
faster.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Well, interesting. So now if you start seeing more metal slides, that's why.
Yes,
It's
it's purposeful.
Mhm.
Yes.
Pull out your compass, and if it's facing the wrong way, you know who to call.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
Yes, yes.
But that's pre
Interesting.
2022 now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. So related to playgrounds too, we did a inclusive playground strategic planning with committee members from local members of the different networks like Autism Family Network, Madonna Rehabilitation, and then also parents of children or adults that have special needs.
Mhm.
We did that last year to come up with a master plan of where inclusive playgrounds will be in the city and prioritizing our list. So our first one that's coming up will be in 2024. Mahoney Park will get $1 million playground.
Ooh.
So that's really exciting.
Mhm.
We worked with these individuals to design the playground. So they're not designers of playgrounds, but I gave them the tools to design what they want.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
it was kind of like a board game that we played, like saying, we want this many swings, we want it to be fenced in, we want it to have a pathway around. And so what they did the board game, and then I took their ideas together and created a master plan basically for this park. So that'll be in 2024.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And
And
isn't
that's
there
just
a
gonna
park
kick it
that's
off.
like just kind of by downtown that
Antelope.
it was Yes. Well,
Yeah.
I thought there was like a new one that was announced that is going to be being built.
Oh, South Haymarket.
Yeah,
Park.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So that'll also be kicking off in 2024. Yes, so that's going to be a really big project. Very excited about that. We had GGN landscape architecture firm come in and design the concept design. So now we're at the point where we're doing kind of more. We're looking. It's called RFP, requests for proposals of a local. Well, it doesn't have to be local. A consultant to do the like finalized design and construction management of this project. So we're at that point now. So again, also 2024 going to be kicking off.
Which is the biggest park currently in Lincoln? Then, like, if you know, look it up.
It's probably be like Wilderness Park.
Where's
so
that?
Where's Wilderness Park?
Well, you didn't know. You don't listen to our show.
You're like,
you didn't know the
what-
race was starting and ending.
What
in
race?
Lincoln.
Did you guys know the race starts in Memorial Stadium?
And maybe
Yeah.
I will know
Okay.
when you.
Yes.
We've only lived here for 5.5 years.
Fair.
Okay.
Fine. So Wilderness Park.
We were
is
out of that.
in Southwest. It's like a forest,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
What?
There's trails in there. There's horse trails, bike trails.
Did we not
pedestrian
know about
trails.
this?
Where is this? Okay, you say
Do you know
south.
where Densmore Park is?
No.
Do you know where?
We know where Pioneers
Like,
Boulevard
are there
is.
restaurants nearby or?
No.
It's pretty out by itself.
What's
Like-
that YMCA that's down there?
Okay, so the YMCA. So it's
Southwest.
okay.
Oh, okay. So it's over by Southway School.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
it's-
we've
it's
rode-
Right there. We've
Yeah.
there's a
We've-
trail.
We've
right.
taken the bike trail
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yep.
we've been out there. Okay.
Okay. See.
So we know.
Okay, yeah. See, you knew, and you just didn't know.
Yeah, we
I
did,
don't know
yes.
if I've ever seen that park though.
We ride by it.
I don't
It's kinda
remember seeing a big
it's
park.
It's off of the YMCA.
It's
like,
bigger
kinda
than
back
Antelope
behind there.
Park.
Yes. Yes.
Was
I
it
don't
just
know
because of the
exact
land?
difference.
Well, problem
why it's bigger.
is running on that. It's usually like a 10-mile run, and that's about the turnaround point. So
Yeah,
I'm
so
probably
we
not
just-
paying much attention to anything but that point.
We've lost all consciousness by the time we get there.
All right. So yeah, Wilderness
Okay.
Park and probably Pioneers Park is the next biggest one. Pioneers Park is where like Pinewood Bowl is.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we were just
Yeah.
out there. Yep.
Yeah, we've been to Pioneers Park. I don't think of Pioneers Park as a park. I mean, even it's in the name, but like I don't know. I think of like playgrounds.
Yeah,
as far
that's
as
when
parks.
you think of a park as a playground.
Yeah,
Right.
but
right.
so Wilderness Park is bigger than Pioneers Park.
Yes. And there are no playgrounds at Wilderness Park.
Oh, see,
We might
It's
have to
like-
go check this out.
I know.
It's like if you want to be
Ah.
immersed in nature, that's where you go.
We need to go
What?
check this out.
Yeah. We've done Pioneers Park and Tierra Park is one that we do a lot. Go into that back.
Mhm.
Well, Ben, before he got into sports, and now he's ditched me and he doesn't want to go do stuff.
Yeah.
He wants to watch football in the fall.
And baseball.
Yeah,
now.
I know. I've lost my nature buddy, but
Let's go out there and bring a
interesting.
football. That's
Yeah,
what we always used
I
to do.
should.
Bring a bunch of friends and
Yeah.
we'd I forget the name. Is
Would.
it what's that called? Frisbee? Football
Golf,
frisbee.
frisbee golf,
Frisbee golf.
Disc golf.
oh, disc golf.
No, the one where it's like football.
Oh, I
where
have
you
no
got 7
idea.
receivers. Well, okay.
No.
Not the point. It's a
No.
good place to
Okay.
go have fun.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely have to check out Wilderness
Absolutely.
Park then.
You'll need to remember the name because I'll forget.
Wilderness Park. It's in there. I got it. Locked and loaded.
Yes.
Now, are any of these new parks going to have a merry-go-round on it?
Yeah.
Like the ones
We've
where you
seen
just fly
updated
off?
Well,
Are they new? Like how
they're
did-
new.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
just saw one in Colorado, remember? In Colorado Springs, because it was when you sit in and you
Yeah.
face the center.
Mhm.
I wanted to go on it,
Oh.
but you can't even spin in an office chair.
I would have.
So
You
Could have put.
I could have spun you.
it was full of kids. Obviously, I'm not going to kick kids out of a merry-go-round,
yeah,
but I would have been in
I
it.
remember seeing that,
Yeah.
but I didn't. I just remember the ones that you could just slide off,
Right.
Literally
fly off.
Yep. There's still some in our
Just get
system.
them rolling.
There is. There's
Yes.
one. Colonial Hill still has
Yep.
one.
Colonial
Yes.
Hills,
Oh, it's
Because
awesome.
that's over by our house. Yeah. Mhm.
I would literally throw up if I was on there.
I don't like spinning either, so I get it.
Literally, I would throw up if I spun in this chair. Right. I can go on a
think you would throw up.
400-foot roller coaster that
You'd
goes
feel
120 miles an hour, but if I spin in this chair for a minute, I will get sick.
I don't
get
think
it.
you'll throw up, but you will be sick. Yes, like mentally ill.
Any like
Yeah.
activities or events
Yeah.
that you want to promote while you're on here? Anything like that? I mean, coming up or
Yeah, yeah. Well, and we just had the Prairie to Prairie
Yeah.
race.
Yes.
Nicole ran it.
Mhm.
And a couple other Ferals members. Yeah, that just happened. Hopefully, we'll be doing it again next year. But
Please
it's
do it again.
I know
We're going to do a better job of promoting it
it's
next year.
fun. Yeah. But basically, it's a 5K run at Pioneers Park, and then there's a 15-mile bike ride down to the Spring Creek Prairie Audubon, where then there's another 5K run.
But you can do it as teams, so not
Yes.
one person doesn't have to do all of it.
Yes, yeah, you could do it if you wanted to do
Yeah.
all of it. You could.
Mhm.
This year they did 2-person teams or 3-person teams. So if you don't want to do all of that in one chunk, you can
Mhm.
break it up.
Mhm.
But that one's a really cool one because it's to help fundraise for the Prairie Corridor, which is going to be a 13-mile trail from Pioneers Park to the Spring Creek Prairie Audubon.
Ooh.
So it would be a public access trail through
Like
there.
a paved trail.
I don't know, maybe.
I'm
I'm
just a
not
little
sure.
weird about riding my bike on like limestone.
You need to get over that. I feel like
My bike tires are so tiny.
you
though.
don't.
Do I have a bigger bike I could ride?
Yeah, you do.
Bigger
But your
tires.
road bike is fine. You act like you have like a Tour de France disc
I don't
wheel
have
bike. you could
little,
do it.
Little slim.
You could do
It does
it.
make a difference to have the right bike tires for sure.
It does, but it's crushed limestone.
We do have a text.
Right.
The Notorious BIB says the timber around Wilderness Park is an excellent place to hunt for morel mushrooms. I wonder
Uh-oh.
if Coach
You're
Bush
not
has been out
supposed to
there.
share that.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
top
it's past that,
secret.
isn't it? Aren't we past that
think
season?
so.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
the millions.
Now we know for next year.
The millions of listeners that we have. Next year, it's going to be swarming like the
Yes.
gold rush.
Yes.
You can't even. It's going to be just people all over the country are just going to swarm to Wilderness Park
Right,
because they heard it on this show.
I was looking forward to checking out.
Absolutely, we are. Yes.
Not today because the humidity is going to be out of control, but maybe
Right.
in the fall that'll be a good family
Yes,
outing.
for
But
sure.
very cool. So when is this corridor thing supposed
Yes.
to
When's that
like?
happening?
So they're still fundraising for
Okay,
it.
yeah.
So I think they're just taking it chunks at a time.
Yeah.
and
Well,
Hopefully
cool.
sooner than later.
Yeah,
but
because that would be awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good little, that would be a great little path for people wanting to ride
yes.
bikes or walk or whatever.
right.
So
And we ran on part of the trail already, which was in
Mhm.
Pioneers Park, which was a new route from last
Yeah.
year.
Yes.
We could run back in there. But yeah, very pretty. Another race we have coming up in November 4th. November 4th is a Saturday. I think.
What's
the
this?
same weekend as the Halvesy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
But the
well,
Halvesy's on Sunday usually, isn't
Okay.
it?
Yeah,
Now,
I think you're
hold
right.
on. Hold
Yeah.
on. There's an event on Husker game day.
There's not a game on that day. Is there not? Is there?
Well, I don't know.
I don't think there is because I
Okay.
just recently put
What's-
all
what's the date?
games in.
That's-
November 4th.
Smart
November 4th.
planning.
Let me double
November
check here
4th.
before we go to break.
Yes.
Okay. So what's that?
It's a 5K at Pioneers Park.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
That
Yep.
would be beautiful in the
Yes.
fall and nice
Exactly.
and cool temperatures, hopefully.
Yes.
We'll double check that real quick and then we'll go to break.
Yeah.
But is that a
But in my
week?
defense, I don't play on these programs.
Plus, it's okay. And first of all, it's going to be in the morning, likely, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So,
Yes.
Michigan State.
Oh, no.
But we're on the road.
Oh, okay.
Yep, we're on the road.
Yes.
So we're fine.
Yeah.
As long as it's early enough.
It's a
We're
road
good.
game early. Just go do that 5K and then sit down and rest
Because I
for the
don't
rest of
do
the day.
anything when
That's
the
fair.
Huskers are on.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
well,
I've always said we have 36 hours a year when Nebraska's playing. That's it.
Yes.
We'll see what time they play though. That's to be decided. So that could change
That
things.
would
a lot,
still
too.
be done.
you'll be done with a
Yeah,
5K
I mean-
by 11.
Yeah, it's probably going to be early. 11 is the earliest they would play.
Yep.
11 o'clock. So,
Yeah, so you should be fine.
yeah, we'll be good. Well, we'll have to
Well,
promote
good.
that when we get closer.
Yes,
Tape it on your
yes.
VCR.
Do I have
We
time to
will.
promote one more thing?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
Go for it. What's up? What
so
else we
this
got?
fall, we are also going to be doing another tree distribution.
Mhm.
So we've done 3 in the past, where we give away trees in 3-gallon containers. So for reference, about this big of a pot, about 5-foot tall trees,
Okay.
for free. So it's like a first come,
Oh,
first serve.
awesome.
300 trees is how many we're planning to give away this year. It's a drive-through style event where you can get in line, you can look at the tree varieties we have, you can talk to people about the tree to figure out where you want to put it on
Mhm.
your own. You have to put it in your private property, so
Right,
yard. But yeah, that's coming up.
Very
It'll
cool.
be likely at Air Park, the old Air Park Recreation Center site.
hmm
So
When will that be? Approximately.
I'm trying to find a date that's not a Husker football.
Oh,
day.
okay. That's a
Yes.
good call.
So-
Uh-oh, DP is going to give Jeff a hard time.
Since you're talking Husker football,
Yes.
all right, we had an issue. And Harrison knows this about me.
Uh-oh.
If I watch something that's just totally out of line and substandard, I have to address it. So Jeff, I just have to tell you, we have to go new.
Oh,
Actual red.
That's the same number,
the same number. Jeff got an
Oh, awesome.
upgrade on his
I
Husker
couldn't
jersey.
have you in that old
Oh, great segue. Yes. Thanks, CP.
Well, I'm going to put this on.
Yes.
The next segment.
That's awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
So
Thank
when
you.
did you think that's going to be?
It'll probably be mid-October.
Okay. So in the
on
fall.
a Saturday.
In the fall.
Yeah.
All right. I got
Yep.
it. Okay. All right. Let's go to break.
Yep.
And
We'll
we'll
right
talk
back.
about this new acquirement.
We'll talk a little Husker sports here when we come back. All right. Don't go anywhere. Fitness Fanatics.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking brings a Ford fleet year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Whether you like fishing together or fishing to get away, for the thrill of reeling in a big one, or just going out to have a good time, on the banks of your local pond, at a bend in a river, or on one of our many lakes and reservoirs, you'll always find the perfect place to cast a line. Here, beneath Nebraska skies. Start planning your next fishing adventure today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
It's time to get the grill out for 4th of July celebrations. Make sure to load up on meat and more at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through July 5th are $2 off all steakhouse burgers and hot dogs. Plus, big news, they have 2 new locations opening soon at 27th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha, with soft openings in mid-July. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
Rich in the double-doubles here. If you had to pass the baton down to the new guy and say, that's a pipeline, what does that look like?
Conditioning for me ultimately is a game changer. I don't care how much you can bench, how much you can squat. If you can start a game and finish in the same condition in the extreme elements, you're going to have the ability to wear down your opponent. And that's what we took a lot of pride in. By the third and fourth quarter, they were dog tired. They knew it was coming at them again, the same it was in the first quarter.
The wait is almost over. The Guardians of Freedom Air Show is the hottest event in the area, coming to Lincoln's Air Park on Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th. Elevate your air show experience with tickets to the premium seating tent, padded seats, meals, and more for just $125. Premium tickets are going fast, so buy yours today. To purchase premium tickets and for more information, visit LincolnAirshow.com. We'll see you at the Guardians of Freedom Air Show in late August.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
They are our love bugs and companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life better. When we face unexpected challenges, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people and their pets. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. I'm wearing my new Husker jersey.
Courtesy of DP.
Courtesy of DP, so I appreciate that. The other one I was wearing last week when the guys were in on the team was like, almost looked like Oklahoma color. It was
Yeah,
like,
it was a little dusty.
It was old. I can't even remember who number 10 was. Well, I'd like to claim it was Roy Halou Jr.
That's what I thought you said.
But I thought we got those because you have a number 9
Mhm.
jersey, and that was Sam Keller.
Okay.
So we might have even gotten these before 2007.
Well, DP was
So-
absolutely appalled. I think he did not even want you to represent the ticket in that.
I don't think so.
He presented it as a gift, but on the inside, he's like, "Hey, we got to dress
Right.
professional
Yeah.
around here."
Don't you dare ever wear that
We
again
can't
in my
have
presence.
we can't have maroon Husker stuff going on
It
where it
matched
looks
your
like
hat.
Oklahoma, you know.
You got Ethan Piper and Henrich in here, and you're like, "Yeah, we bust out the Sooner colors."
It had a Husker logo
It
on
did.
it.
You were
Yeah.
safe.
But
Those
it
guys,
is-
those guys didn't think you were.
I mean, I have
Sooner
a
fan.
I have a picture with me wearing that jersey when our son was probably 3 when we took him to his first game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what, and he had a number 10 on also.
Yeah, I'll
So they were
post it on our
matching
Instagram
jerseys.
because it's adorable.
But I don't remember who we played, what year that was. But yeah, I know like over the years, like JD Spielman's been number 10. Now Anthony Grant's number 10. So
Mhm.
whoever number 10 is, like, yeah, that's my guy there.
Mhm.
So keep number 10.
Yeah,
But I know Roy
awesome.
Halou was number 10.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good one to put it after. I'd love to Roy Halou.
All right. So we're going to talk a little Husker football. We just have a few minutes left. So, Kaylin, when you were in college, were the Huskers good?
I would say they were good.
Okay,
From
so-
my perspective.
So what's the
They were
time
really
frame for those
good.
listening?
Relatively
so I was in
speaking.
college from 2010 to 2015.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were in where the transition went to the Big Ten, right?
Yep.
And you would have had, as being a Husker going to Nebraska, you would have been through 2 conference championship games.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
so
Mhm.
that's like, I mean, in Harrison's mind, he can't even comprehend that. Right?
Yeah, that's a new stratosphere I haven't seen.
So they were pretty good.
Yeah, they were
pretty good.
okay. Yeah, they were okay.
Any,
The game we went to with Ben was September 6, 2010. Just so you know.
okay, so yeah, so we would have bought the 2000. That was Roy Halou played at that time. So it's my Roy Halou jersey.
Yeah.
That's what we'll claim it to.
Mhm.
That's a good one. I'd stick with
2010.
that.
So the jersey's 13 years old.
It's very well loved.
Only jersey I've had in 13
I
years.
don't understand why it's so faded because I still have that number 9 jersey and mine's not like as
Because
faded.
you've
as
probably
yours.
worn yours like 10 times in the last 13
I know,
years.
but still, like, what do you? It's not like you're out working on the railroad in it. You're going to games. Like, I don't understand why it's so.
It's probably my washing
Oh, you're-
techniques. I bet,
That
like
could
with the
be.
washing machine, throwing it in and not doing the proper
Yeah.
temperature of
That's
water
possible.
over the last 13 years.
Yeah. That's
Okay,
possible.
so what are your thoughts on upcoming season, the new coach? What are your thoughts? Are you excited?
I'm excited, but I know nothing.
Yeah.
I should have warned you this.
Well, that's okay.
But I love watching football.
Me too.
Specifically Huskers.
Mhm.
I grew up watching, Nebraska football, especially from Western Nebraska.
Mhm.
Nothing else to do than watch football.
Mhm.
But no, my whole family they're huge Husker fans, especially my mom's side. Which ironically, a lot of like my cousins on my mom's side married Hawkeyes. So it's always been kind of like a
That's because they're everywhere.
but all of my cousins that are blood related love the Huskers,
Oh,
and then
okay.
their wives or spouses are
By
Hawkeyes.
proxy. Oh, they don't convert because my family were
No.
Hawkeye fans too,
I don't know.
and I
feel like-
converted.
yeah, they're kind of like on the fence, but
Mm.
they definitely have their own.
Yeah.
But we all love each other still.
I'm the same way with football though. Like I enjoy it while I'm watching it, but I don't let it. It doesn't stick.
Doesn't affect the rest of your life.
Slides, yeah, it slides right off. Like,
Well,
oh, that was terrible.
It affects me.
Yeah, you're saving aside 50,
And like I
70%
said,
of your memory for it.
I used to cry when Nebraska would lose, and now our son cries when they win.
Oh my gosh.
Or that's
Oh,
what it
times
was,
have
how it
changed.
has been.
You cry when they win. Tears of joy.
I did
Yeah.
cry last year when we beat Iowa.
You did. You cried.
I may have had a tear in my
Is
eye.
that why you gave me a hug? Because you were hiding your tears.
Yes, a big hug. It was just an emotional burden lifted off me. It was amazing. So, all
That's
right. Well, we're
awesome.
gonna wrap it up
Yeah.
here. Kaylin, thank you for
Thank
taking time out of your
you.
day to come and visit with
Teaching
us.
us all brand new things today. We learned what an acre is.
What's a good website for our Facebook for our listeners to go check out Lincoln Parks and Rec? See what they have going on.
Lincoln.ne.gov, or just find us on Facebook, Lincoln Parks and Recreation.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, everybody
thank you.
have a good week. We will be in here next week with our $1,000 winner from the last 10-week challenge, Errol Huck. He has an awesome, awesome story. We will see you next week, and make it a good one.